What's up, YouTube? Silver Dragons here, and today I want to talk about silver price. There's a lot going on in the world right now, but what's going to be the thing that pushes silver to new highs? Let's get into it. Thank you so much for watching. I do sincerely appreciate it. If you want to learn more about investing in precious metals, or if you just want to watch awesome videos about gold and silver, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In my honest opinion, silver is extremely undervalued right now. We can look at the gold silver ratio. We can look at historical silver prices, what's going on with the dollar. And it seems like silver is actually near a bottom with lots of room to move up. Now, to break this down, we're going to be talking to someone who's been involved in the precious metals industry much longer than myself. I'm so excited to be talking with Ivan Bebek, the chairman and founder of Tier 1 Silver. Ivan, how are you doing today?
Doing very well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. We have a lot of stuff to go through today regarding silver and really what could push the price higher, etc. But if we take a step back and just look at geopolitically, there's some crazy stuff going on right now. We've got the war in Ukraine, Saudi dealing with China and yuan, talks of BRICS-led gold-backed currency possibly, many moving parts putting pressure on the dollar as the sole reserve currency right now, and it seems like it's only set to continue. So do you think American sanctions frighten foreign governments about their dollar reserves?
Absolutely. As you said, a lot going on. There's a lot of concern and a lot of movement is going to happen, we believe, in the currencies going forward. But I think with the Ukraine invasion and whatnot, we saw the sanctions come out, and it's tough. It's tough as a foreign country to rely on the dollar if you're going to get sanctioned against not going the way that maybe the US wants to. So I think the opportunity for not just silver, but gold as well is quite substantial for the precious metals here on a safe haven bet for a lot of these countries.
Yeah, and what do you think about the sort of the BRICS currency that could be coming out? Do you think that would challenge the dollar at all?
Yeah, I think there's a huge risk that you're going to see considerable devaluation in a lot of these currencies. We all saw the money printing that happened on the back of COVID. Most countries in the world are in a similar boat. We're fighting inflation, and I think the inflation is going to come down at some point here, and currencies, they're going to print more money. So there's going to be a devaluation of all fiat currencies. So the BRICS, that comes into place and it's backed by gold as they're anticipating to do. That would be a substantial game changer for gold and other precious metals and how they're treated. And the one thing that also goes with that is, since I started in this business over 24 years ago, the population has nearly doubled and the volume of people globally has changed, and the game has gotten much bigger and the mining market has gotten a lot smaller. The grade of silver and gold and other metals that's around is lower. There's less product there. It's harder to find. That's a huge appeal for us, being someone looking for a big silver mine. And so I think the value of metals in the next 4 to 5 years could skyrocket from current prices, and there'll be considerable shortages when the general public moves towards, asset-backed currencies such as gold or other precious metals.
Absolutely. And one thing you mentioned there was inflation possibly coming down. Recently we have seen those lower CPI numbers. June, it was lower than expected. It's prompted speculation that the Fed would raise interest rates one final time in July. That would be a little bit over a week from now, maybe that last bullet, right? And then maybe even start cutting rates in March of 2024. Gold and silver have really rallied over the last few days. Silver's moved up a few dollars. Do you think this signals a bull market in precious metals?
As a biased veteran, absolutely. We've been in the toughest 2 years I've seen in the last 24 years of our sector in terms of sentiment and potential price performance. So we've definitely capitulated and bottomed across the board with our sector. And what we saw here happening in the last little while here and hearing about the last potential rate hike, we are going into an election year next year. And one would assume there's going to be some easing and some sugar in the economy per se, with more printing and lowering of rates. So there's a pretty robust chance for a robust economy next year. So it's all coming together. The fundamentals for silver and other metals have been outstandingly strong for some time, but we've been early, and this market has to go through its cycle. But we definitely felt in the last week that there's been a big paradigm shift towards metals. It doesn't mean silver is going to run tomorrow, but in the near future, can be in the next few months, it could really pick up quite a bit from where it's at and start to get that appeal for the investing crowd. We've seen AI do well here on the backside of, or the latest part of tech, and we've seen some of the energy, metals doing well. But I think precious metals are the last to go. That's the next market that we're all going to see. As a contrarian, we are very leveraged towards the precious metals, and the value that can be created when the metals are in favor for companies like ours, it's exponential, and that's really what we're after. It's risky, but its reward is huge, and I think that our market is so small, and I'm speaking about the silver market or the gold market. It's so small in comparison to some of the other markets we've seen globally. When the influx of investors come, it's going to be incredible in terms of the returns that will come out of it.
When we think about precious metals and rates possibly being lowered as early as Q1 2024, historically that's been really bullish for gold and silver. Now, gold is basically within spitting distance of its all-time high. Silver right now is around half of its all-time high. So do you see a little bit more potential for silver possibly?
On a percentage basis, absolutely. It's one of my favorite commodities in the world. I'm a gold bug by training. That's what I've followed through my career. But I've always fantasized about being part of a major silver discovery because it does have the best leverage to performance. From $25 to $50 or even $100 an ounce for silver is in the car. It could be definitely in the cards here. It's really lagging right now behind where all the other metals went. And in comparison to gold, it has a pretty big industrial application through electronics and solar panels, which we all know are a massive undertaking in terms of this push or movement towards the greener planet that we're all trying to achieve. So I think there's a big lag in silver. I think there'll be a massive, massive move to the upside. It will probably get to the doubling or quadrupling price point in the near future before gold does, which could do it in the longer term. But gold doesn't have far to go, as you've mentioned, to get to a new all-time highs. I think silver has to catch up. It's overdue. It has great physical demand and it has great investment demand. When silver crosses $30 an ounce, that's kind of been our metric. That's kind of when gold breaks out to its all-time high, that's where we see stocks, investments, speculators really start to come into the space more often than not. And we saw that about 2 years ago for a short while, and then silver went down to $18 an ounce. Now it's back on the uptrend. So I think we're really set up. I think the ability for silver to outperform gold is huge, and equities will be the number one performing equities in the mining space if you find the right silver project.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of silver projects, if we could pivot over toward the mining side, how difficult is it to discover and mine silver today?
Well, you have to look at the market we're in. We're in about a 12-year bear market or 11-year bear market since 2012. So not a lot of capital has gone into finding mines. First point. Second point, all the easy mines that were sticking out of the ground that you could walk up to, drill underneath the robust silver, those are being mined right now. And we're now starting to look at mine life shortages in a lot of different of the big major mines. So it's harder to find, it's more rare to find a quality silver deposit. And I have to use the word quality because not all silver mines are created equal. And so I think it's harder than ever for explorers to find significant silver deposits that will make impact in the silver market in the coming decades. And that's only simply because we have found all the easy ones in previous decades to now. So the timing is kind of the perfect storm. And so we look forward to it. That's the key, is to find a robust, extremely rich silver deposit in light of incredible demand and global macro impacts on silver and increased industrial use, larger populations, and more use across electronics and solar panels. So it's really fitting to a perfect timing. It's a great place to be as an investor or as a speculator.
I think so as well. Ivan, can we talk about your journey? What has brought you to the place where you wanted to start a silver company?
Sure. So we've done a few companies before, and the first goal was to find a gold mine. We found one in Africa. The share price went from 10 cents to over $9 a share, from about a million to about $900 million valuation. We built that gold mine. Second company we created, we went to go do the same thing, and we ended up selling to a major mining company back in 2015. When we put together Tier 1 Silver, we wanted to go for the same thing, but in silver. We wanted to find something that would make the top 10 or 20 mines ever in the world for silver. And we got an address down in southern Peru, which is on the trend of some of the largest copper and gold mines in the world. Some of them do have silver in them. And we started to find silver in the kilograms. Anything above 1 kilogram silver is what we describe in industry as what could be bonanza grade. In about a 3 by 2 mile area, we found over 70 samples of 1 to 300 kilograms of silver in veins on surface. We drilled about 16 holes, with the best holes of what we drilled in that first program was towards the end, the last few holes. It started to really show us where the silver could be accumulating. And since then, and as I speak to you now, we're finding new big wide veins on surface. We're sampling them. We've only explored 5% of the property, but we're seeing this incredible rich grade of silver, which gives us a way better chance to have potentially an economic type of silver discovery. This is the most rare, unique opportunity I have seen in the exploration sector, based on how rich the values of silver are on surface, how big the mining trend is of the mines, the caliber of the mines nearby. We don't just have a potential for silver. There could be a major copper deposit beside or beneath a big silver deposit. So you kind of get 2 in 1. Copper's forecast is incredibly positive and bullish as well. But we're at the final stages of getting ready to drill on the back of what we found. We found out where we think we should be, where the source of all the silver on surface could be. And it's going to be one of the most exciting drill programs that I get to be part of in my career as an investor and as a chairman and co-founder of this company.
Wow, that's excellent. For me, timing wise, I like to try and get in before the drilling results. So the fact that you're starting another program, it's perfect timing. Can you talk a little bit about some of the key people involved, maybe from management to shareholders?
Sure. So Peter Dembicki is our CEO, and he's incredible. He came from the finance side of the business, and he's really spearheaded this company with me since its inception about 2 years ago. His demeanor and aggressive understanding of the silver market and ability to capitalize on what we find and what we're looking for is uncanny. And it's an awesome to have him at the helm. But Christian Rios is really a story. He's been part of 2 major silver discoveries in Peru. He's Peruvian in nature, so he speaks the language. He's from there. And having been part of 2 major silver discoveries previously gives him a huge competitive advantage and edge to where he's at. Where we sit right now with share structure in terms of major shareholders, I'm the largest shareholder of the company outside of, in independent investors, but as far as management goes. And we have some of the world's larger investors that speculate on these type of things in terms of what they could be. Major mining companies such as Newmont own shares in our company, and several others are looking at what we're doing. We've signed a plethora of confidentiality agreements, which is very common when you're exploring for these major discoveries with major silver companies that are looking to see if we make that discovery. In a perfect world, this is like a lottery ticket. Each drill hole could react with a legendary discovery. We're going to drill about 20 different holes in this next program we go up to. And because we have the relationships, because we have a very strong management team with an incredible track record, we have an audience that if we get it right, we'll be able to not only perform with the share price, but we would end up with potentially, much like our last company, a takeover from a major mining company. And that's the goal here. Discovery is the most rewarding aspect of any mining investment that you can be part of. That's basically when you drill and you find something that wasn't there before. It's literally like finding a mine overnight in that one drill hole. And then you continuously drill it to see how economic and how valuable it is. And that's what we offer investors going forward, is one of the biggest swings. And that size factor is incredibly important because it will reflect on the potential performance of the share price, and one of the richest swings that we're aware of globally. And we can't wait to get back to this next program of drilling that's going to come up in the next quarter.
Awesome. Well, I know about the drilling program, but what's next for the company this year? Anything else you'd like to mention about Tier 1 silver?
So when you get on a project and you start to explore it, you start to see rich values of silver, in our case here with Tier 1. You get excited, you focus in on that area. We have expanded our view now to well beyond the 5% of the property we've explored primarily to date. And we've taken what we've learned from that main area to target the source area. It all has to do with elevation. And we are starting to find huge veins on the property we weren't aware of previously. We've sampled those. So results from those are coming before the end of the summer. And that's going to really help set the tone of how big the expression or potential expression could be that we're going to go drill target in the fourth quarter. So it's really going to be a steady flow of news about that progress that's being made to expand the scale and the opportunity that we're talking about today. And then we're going to turn around and drill it here pretty quick in the fourth quarter. That's our goal. And once we get to drill it, then that's when all the real excitement really pours into it. So I would anticipate speculators to start speculating as we go into that final drill program. And then we see what happens with the drill bit, see if we do have one of the world's richest and largest silver discoveries coming in by the end of the year.
Well, I definitely will have my eyes peeled, waiting to see how this all plays out. I really appreciate all of the time. Ivan, I don't want to keep you too long here, but if people want to learn more about the company, where is somewhere they can go to find some more resources?
Perfect. We have a website. It's tier1silver.com, TIERONESILVER.com. Please visit it. If you have any questions, info@tier1silver.com is our email. But everything we do is posted quite frequently, interviews and media updates about our progress, and we'll have a lot of activity going on as we go into the fourth quarter. So please come visit our website, and we look forward to hearing from you as shareholders.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate it, and we will definitely have to do a follow-up in the future. Thank you so much, Ivan.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Lastly, I do want to say a big thank you to all of you so much for watching. I am curious your thoughts about silver price. Where is it going to go from here? Feel free to put your comments down below in the comment section, and I will see you all in my next one. Silver Dragons out.